All right, Full Circle Fitness fans, here we are again with another workout series. Today is going to be a special routine for our Fitafter40 crowd. So this is going to be our Fitafter40 dynamic flexibility routine. We're going to go through 5 of my favorite flexibility exercises that you can do to increase range of motion, decrease pain, decrease inflammation in your joints, get some fluid back in there, get everything mobile and moving better, okay? So the first one we're going to start with is called a scorpion stretch, all right? And I'm sure everyone's seen this one before. I'm going to have a couple different cues to help you when you're doing this. So if you lack flexibility in your upper body and you can't keep your shoulders down on both of these, you can have the opposite shoulder come up. It will come up when you bring this leg behind, okay? But just sure to keep your palm on the ground, all right? And then the other arm is going to be straight, and I'll show you from 2 different angles. So we're going to reach back, okay? It's a good stretch for not only this pec and shoulder on this left arm that's down, but also for your lower back and hips too as you're reaching over, okay? And then you alternate, reaching over this way, back and forth. I usually do each of these dynamic stretches for at least 1 minute. You can add more if you're really stiff and want to get some mobility in those joints before your event that you're going to do, or again before your workout. Okay, even before your runs. So from this angle, okay, your palms are facing down, your head is down. Make sure that you're not arching your neck too much on this one, okay? You're not having too much neck extension because that really does put a lot of strain on your neck. So keep your head down, palms facing down. One arm's going to come up, other leg's going to reach over. I like to tap my toe a couple times. Again, these are dynamic stretches, and dynamic just means you're not holding it, you're going back and forth. All right, so all of our stretches today are very mobile, so you got to keep moving. Okay, and you do this for 1 minute. You can do this for 2 minutes or 3 minutes until you feel yourself loosening up. Okay? All right. The next one I call is a stationary, but a seated samurai walk. Now, normally when we're doing these in my jiu-jitsu class or anything else, I've adapted this kind of to this seated position, because if you have carpet and you can do this, it's a great way to increase some mobility in your hips, all right? But if you don't have enough room, you can simply just kind of sit up. So you're going to start with one leg like this, okay? And then the other one back behind like that, okay? And what you're gonna do is, as you roll forward, you're gonna thrust this pelvis up, and this heel is gonna go behind you, okay? So I'm coming forward, and I'm bringing my hips up, and that leg is gonna turn, okay? And as that leg turns, I'm gonna sit back to the other side, okay? So in full motion, I'll show you what it looks like. So we're starting here, okay? I'm going to step up and thrust my hip forward as this leg comes around. See how now we're kind of even? And then this foot's going to come through, and we're going to sit back down, okay, from this position. I'm going to thrust up. Hip is coming forward as this leg rotates as the other one comes in, and then you sit back down, okay? So full motion is 1, 2, okay? 1, 2. Now, if you want to make this a little more progressive, you can have one foot in front like this and one foot to the side, and you can thrust your hip up here, and then as you come down, you switch your hips like this, okay? It's a different hip mobility exercise, but it's training you to eventually be able to do that samurai walk. So that's the second one, okay? An actual samurai walk, I'll show you, if you have room at home, is just bringing one foot up and letting this butt cheek collapse to that side, okay? We're in that position again, and then I'm gonna hip thrust up, dragging that foot through as I stand this one up, and this one's gonna drop to the side, hip thrust up as this foot comes up, okay? So it looks like this as you're walking, okay? Dropping to that one side, leg comes up. Dropping to the other side, leg comes up, okay? So you can see how and I'll show you again from this angle so you can see it a little bit better. Hip come down, foot comes up. So you can see how I broke it apart in those 2 separate exercises. Again, try all of them. They're great ways to loosen up your hips. Okay, let's get into our third one, which is going to be a break dance. You've seen this a lot in our plyo videos. I personally love it because it's a great way to stretch everything in your body, from your spine all the way down to your lower back and even your legs as well, okay? So you're in a push-up position. You're just going to reach through and bring this foot up, balancing on this leg. This leg is nice and straight, toes flexed in. You're going to immediately shift to the other side, okay? And just go back and forth, okay? It doesn't have to be fast. We're not doing a plyometric. We're just trying to stretch the spine, the hips, arms, and the legs, okay? So again, back and forth for that for 1 minute or more if you want to loosen up. So we're going to go into our next exercise, which is a hip flexor stretch to a sprinter stretch, okay? So we're 1 knee up, 1 knee down. We're going to thrust that pelvis forward to get that stretch, okay? So I'm starting here. I'm going to thrust and hold. My hands are going to come down to the ground. As my hands come down to the ground, this back foot, I'm going to go up on the toe, and almost like you're on a sprinter block, okay? You're extending both legs. Try not to round your back, okay? Shoulder blades back, head down. Get that nice stretch and go right back down to that hip flexor. Thrust in, hold, come back. Again, since this is a dynamic stretch, you're alternating between these 2 movements. You're not holding it. Stretch, squeezing that glute, thrust that pelvis forward, come back, fingertips up on the toe, and stretch. And just repeat this motion for 30 to 60 seconds on one side and 30 to 60 seconds on the other side, okay? It's a great way to hit the hip flexors, hamstrings, and calves, all right? The last one I want to show you is a toe touch to an overhead side reach, okay? Or side-to-side reach. So, this is a great dynamic exercise, again, for the hamstrings, lower back, calves, as well as everything in your side, internal, external, oblique, serratus, and teres, or everything on your side, your lats, your arms, okay? It's a great total body dynamic stretch to warm up with. So again, so you're going to touch that toe, right? When you're touching your toes, you want to make sure that you're locking your knees, all right? Now, the more you can do that, the more you'll feel that stretch. If you have a history of vertigo or dizziness or something, you probably don't want to completely lock your knees. You can do a little bit of a bend. All right, so we're reaching down, we're touching that toe, get that nice stretch, immediately coming up, and then we're going to reach to one side and then reach to the other side. All right, so from this viewpoint, we're going to go down, and I like to do a couple bounces on this. So I'm bouncing maybe 2 or 3 times, and then I'm going to come up and I'm going to bounce 2 or 3 times on this side and bounce 2 or 3 times on that side. So again, I'll do a couple for you. So we're bouncing, keeping those knees straight, feeling that stretch in the calves and hamstrings. We're going to come up, we're bouncing to one side over here. Like I said, I like to do 3 to 5 times. You can do however many you want, but again, we're doing this for 30 to 60 seconds. You can increase that on this last one if you want to do more to work on your range of motion. One more time, we're bouncing down. We're going over and over to the other side. Okay? So there you go. There's all your stretches you can do. Again, these are 5 of my favorite that you can use in routines before you do major events, before you go on a cardiovascular exercise routine, or even at the end of your workouts too. It's a great way to overall increase your range of motion, decrease inflammation, decrease pain within your body. So go ahead and try those out. Check out some of our other Fitafter40, Fitafter60, and senior videos. And as always, like and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it as this channel keeps growing. So always remember, be safe, be active, and we'll see you soon.